වලින් හඳුන්වා දෙන රසයක් බැහැ. Chirpy Chips. රිදෙන්නේ දැනෙන රස.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
We're just moments away from kickoff here at the big club grounds as both sets of players have been introduced to today's dignitaries. Vishenka Silva introducing his Pete Wright boys. And Venuko Vikramasuriya will lead the Thomians in this clash. Plenty at stake here, especially for St. Peter's College, because a loss here today would really spell the end of their season. They really do need a victory here to stay afloat in the Dialogue Schools Rugby League and maintain whatever slim chances they still have in this league. As for the Thomians, they'll want to get back to win in ways they came into this season as one of the favorites, and they'll want to get back to that winning momentum that they had in the group stage. As we take a look at the teams, starting with the Pete Wrights, the visitors, Farooq Nimsara and Trevin Herft slots into the front row. Revon Pereira and Janut Ratnayaka in the second row. Lakindu Ranasinghe, Madugaske and Shenuka Pereira rounding out the pack. And in the halves, Shiraz Pereira and Jamal Wahab has slotted into fly half, where he was mighty impressive against Royal. And in midfield, Pramukha Aditya comes back into the side alongside Netsan Mantusha, and a back three of Vishenka Silva, Rajit Jion and Senuddin Sara. So a couple of changes for St. Peter's College. In that front row, Trevin Herft, as we'll take a look at the Thomian lineup. Couple of changes for them as well. Also in the forward pack, Imran Pereira and Jayavira slots into the tight head. Vaniga Suri and Sithil Pereira continue in the locks. Nyanadas comes into that flanker position alongside Aluvihare and Makail Karunaratne, rounding out the forward pack. And in the halves, we'll continue with Venuka Vikramasuriya and Udan Bulat Singalage. In midfield, Chanut Ahaliagoda makes a return into the Thomian lineup after a bout of chikungunya alongside his partner Senesh Kaliyana Gunawardena. And that tried and tested back three for the Thomians, Avishka Pereira, Mayanka Dias and Akit Kure. Yes, and both teams now going through the formalities with their school songs as we await the kick-off here at the big club grounds.
And our flag is floating proudly. Let us sing its praises loudly. Lend a heart and lend a hand, and lift the flag on high. Let its glorious colors give a greeting to the sky.
I would like to request you to continue to keep standing for the college anthem of St. Thomas's College.
Your
Righto, ladies and gentlemen, with the two anthems out of the way.
Here at the big club grounds in Mount Lavinia, and only the rugby to come. 70 minutes of some intense action as we see the dignitaries being led off the field here at the big club grounds. And St. Peter's College will be kicking from right to left of your screens in this first half, and the Thomians in their well-known black and blue jerseys will be kicking from left to right. The man under pressure in the middle for today will be referee Jivaka Fonseca. But we are privileged with the video referrals today. And 5 cameras for the perusal of the referees, all courtesy of the Papare Jivaka Fonseca, assisted by Nalin Lasantha and Akila Senarat. The men under pressure out in the middle. So plenty of tactical shifts here from both these sides, as I welcome Shanaka Amarasinghe with me into the commentary box. Very good evening, Shanaka.
Thanks very much, Nathan. Just in time for kickoff, and it looks like it's a nice gloomy day as well. Not too much of a wind to speak about, which played a huge factor in the first half in the last game that we had at this ground against Trinity, as Vishenka Silva, the Peterite skipper, gets ready to kick off.
Yes, Vishenka Silva slotted out wide into the wing for the first time this season today, and straight away has skewed the kickoff. So not the best of starts for the Peterites, and the Thomians will have a centre field scrum, Shanaka. Will this be something that they wanted? Will this give them some confidence?
Well, it's important that both teams get some confidence back in this game, isn't it, Nathan? Because they're both coming in after losses, and it could be a season-defining game for both these teams. If St. Thomas's go down 2 weeks in a row, it could really upset them. But for Peters, if they do manage to win this game, which they're underdogs in, then it could really lift them up going into the last few games of the season. But that's not a great scrum to start with. Bit of slippery conditions underfoot, it looks like. And these two front rows, very similar packs, aren't they, Nathan? Because they're big boys, not as mobile as maybe Trinity and Isipatana, but they will go head-to-head today.
Yes, definitely, Shanaka. Battle to watch out for in the front 8 for both these sides. And plenty of changes as well in their packs, as Vikramasuriya retrieves the ball from the first scrum of the game and straight away goes for that wrap move with the returning Chanutha Haliagoda. Here's Akit Kure now, but met by the retarded Pramukha Aditya, and he'll need to roll out of that tackle. Does so just in the nick of time. But Thomians looking to start on the front foot, and that's a big hit coming in from Ratnayaka on Mikhail Karunaratne. He'll be someone that the Peterites will need to mark. And now the ball in the hands of Bulat Singalage for the first time today. And a wayward pass coming in on that occasion from Shalin Manigasuriya. And the Peterites will have their first set play.
Huge tackle, massive statement of intent by Revon Pereira there on St. Thomas's biggest ball carrier, the most devastating ball carrier this season. If we'll have a look at that one, maybe just a little bit too far forward, but Mayanka Dias having no chance of getting onto that pass. But that just shows a little bit of a lack of understanding between the Thomian forwards and backs, which we have seen and was apparent in the last game against Trinity, and that's something that they need to work out a little bit more, how their roles are in open play. But a good win that time in the line out by Lakindu Ranasinghe will be their go-to man.
Yes, have been impressive in the forwards department, have St. Peter's College. And that's another strong carry from Janut Ratnayaka, who has slotted into the second row for today's clash. Ashas Farooq just unable to gather that one and stopped right in his tracks. And now Peterites will go to the line. Jamal Wahab to Pramukha Tikshana. And the Thomians have drawn the penalty, held on for just a bit too long there. And a little sarcastic pat on the back from Vikramasuriya.
Yes, good to see Venika Vikramasuriya is pretty abrasive as a scrum half. He's a good captain as well, but sometimes he may have to restrain that side of his game now that he's the captain. But it's a wonderful facet of the game to look for in scrum halves who are little but all at the same time have a mouth on them. The guys like George Gregan will be what everyone talks about. It's a great touch finder for Mudan Bulat Sinhala to give St. Thomas's their first attacking opportunity. Let's see if they have fixed the woes from last week. But let's look at this combination here. Good tackle from Malui Hara, and straight over the ball was Mikhail Karunaratne before the Peters cleaners managed to get there.
Yes, like you said, the forwards and backs as individual units have great combinations between them, as we see on that occasion as well. Dias with some lovely hands out to Kure, but the Petrite defense quickly up to him, and now Liana Gunawardana will look to straighten things up. And Karunaratne gaining some meters. Here's Vikramasuriya to the big Sithil Pereira. He too with a strong carry there. Ball was a bit loose, and yes, the Petrites have won the penalty for that lost forward, and they'll have their first scrum of the game. But straight the early signs, Shanaka, both sides appear to be a bit rusty, or perhaps it's the underfoot conditions, the wet conditions that are playing their part, but not at their usual slick best, both of these sides in the first 5 minutes.
Yes, I think it'll take a bit of time to settle the nerves, especially after those two big losses coming from last week. You don't want to be the first one to make a mistake, and I think that will settle down after the first 10 or 15 minutes of this game, Nathan. But good scrum for St. Peter's to start off with, and yes, the big boot.
Big boot from Sinuddin Sar. He has quite a heavy boot on him, unfortunately doesn't find touch. And Udan Bulat Singalage will send the game line out on the full. So a costly error there from Udan Bulat Singalage, and the game line will stay in the Thomian red zone. So another opportunity for St. Peter's College to try and make a mark in the opening exchanges, while the Thomians are still perhaps finding their feet.
Not great execution from Bulat Singalage, but I like the idea to put the pressure back and pin St. Peter's back in their own 22. Lakindu again with the big take at number 2 and setting up the driving maul that St. Thomas's have been privy to and would have worked on in their defensive patterns of the last week as well.
Yes, and now here's Revon Pereira breaking from the back of that maul. The rolling maul for the Petrites has been one of their strengths this season, and here's another man who has been a great strength in this Petrite side, Shenuka Pereira, with a strong carry. And now Wahab will look to send things wide. Here's Mantusha doubled up on by Liana Gunawardana and the return in Chanu Taliagoda. But still have that man Vishenka Silva on the outside, bumps off one tackle, tries to bump off another. Lovely offload to Wahab, and lovely hands now to Senuddin Sara. Amana Bank try time for St. Peter's College here at the big club grounds as Senuddin Sara opens the scoring. What a move from the Petrites. All started from that line out, forwards and backs seamlessly combining, and Senuddin Sara will take the honours of that Amana Bank try. But I thought Vishenka Silva did mighty well there to get that handoff off balance.
He was the one who really created it. Two great carries from the Petrites, one from Shenuka Pereira up in midfield, which drew quite a bit of the defence into the centre of the pitch, and then of course that bump off from Vishenka Silva. Outstanding work from him. The defense on him just not good enough, and Senuddin Sara was the man who profited from that. And you seem to be having a little bit of a crystal ball, Nathan, because you said that was a costly error from Udan Bulat Singalage even before it cost them the 7 points. But yes, absolutely it was. This is where we'll see the bump off, and that's where Akit Kure really needed to do better. And that's when the hands opened up, and lovely little offload from the 9 as well. Jamal Wahab it is, with the try assist. So outstanding work from St. Peter's to start this game. Like we were saying, after a loss, it really is important that you start well.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. This will be a great confidence booster for the Petrites, who have been a bit wounded this season. But it's important that they don't let things slip from here. Even against Royal last week, it was quite a fast start for them. 2 scores fairly quickly, but they let it all slip from there in the second half. So
well, let's see what the Thomians have learned from that same start that Trinity got against them last week. They have to stay in the game for 70 minutes. And let's see if that's something that mental resilience has taught them over the last 7 days. But St. Peter's looking to exit this one.
Yes, Ashaz Farouk just making a bit of a hash of the collection there, but eventually lining up that exit. And once again they'll go to the boot of the try scorer, Senuddin Sara. This time he does find touch, but that too was out on the full, Shanaga. So lack of game awareness on that occasion from the try scorer, and a golden opportunity now for St. Thomas's College to try and give the Petrites a taste of their own medicine.
Yes, will St. Thomas's be able to capitalize on the mistake from the kicker, just like St. Peter's did moments ago? They've got to get this line out right. The first one was a bit wobbly, but fortunately for the Thomians, not contested. They'll look for either Aluvihara in the number 7 jersey or Vanigasuriya in the number 2 jersey. A beautiful sack from St. Peter's, almost losing that ball forward the Thomians, and really good work there. really good work. Before Bakal Karunaratne could emerge with the ball, the sack was made, and that's really good coaching and outstanding execution from the Pete Wrights.
Yes, like I was saying, Shanaka, the forwards have been surprisingly the strength of the Pete Wright outfit this season. Usually they have a reputation for good backs, but they've been mighty impressive, and that was another excellent sack from Janut Ratnayaka. So take a look at the replay there. Janut Ratnayaka and Revon Pereira making that ball unplayable and drawing the scrum penalty for the Pete Wrights.
Really good technique from Pereira and good upper body strength as well. Vikramasuriya not putting any pressure on Senut Nimsara there, which may be something they want to do. Bulat Singalage, who's at the back there, not showing any urgency to take a quick one.
Yes, that's something that the Thomians will need to work on, Shanaka. I feel if they play this game with a bit of urgency, with a bit of pace, that can really upset the Pete Wrights. They've been playing slow ball for most of this season, and yes, off that line out straight away, going to the back line. Here's Aheliagoda, caught in the tackle there by Revon Pereira. But the Thomians will do well to play some quick ball here, which I feel has been one of the weaknesses of St. Peter's College in this season, especially in that game against Wesley.
Well, they're here to play the Pete Wrights. Some good low tackling, stopping the Thomian juggernaut in its tracks there. Sithil Pereira, that's the second time he's carried, and the second time he's been met very comfortably. And that ball squirting forward, so the Pete Wrights winning that particular exchange.
Yes, another dominant display from the Pete Wright forwards, Shanaka. It's been all one-way traffic, you could say, in these first 10 minutes. And those shifts in the forward pack seem to have worked for the Pete Wrights as well. Choosing to bring in some bigger lads into that front row. And slotting one of their regular props back into the second row. So just shifting the dynamic a bit, and that has really worked for them so far.
Well, that was the front five that they used against Isipatana to such good effect. They've reverted to that.
So now once again, this time though, Akit Kure does well to charge down. Dinsara finally reading it on the third attempt, but Pete Wright straight away. Dinsara making up for his mistake and winning back the penalty.
And that's again the winning of the collision, isn't it? Outstanding work from Aluvihara to get up there and put the pressure on. We talked about not putting pressure on Zenith Dinsara just one scrum ago. So they've managed to put the pressure on him, managed to get the result. But unfortunately, they're not able to turn that good work into points and sustain pressure.
Yes, I feel that has been a weak point of the Thomians so far this season. So we take a look there. Brilliantly done by Vanika Surya. But like you said, just unable to put on the finishing touches and really make something of their good work.
He needed to stay on his feet there, didn't he? And Nathan, we'll talk about that a little later.
Yes, and this time Maul is brought down by the Thomians, but another strong carry coming in from Shenuka Pereira. Here's the Shiraz out to Wahab. Long pass out to Mantusha, to the strike scorer. Have that extra man out wide. Here's Vishenka Silva once again. Tries to get that offloaded. But unfortunately, execution wasn't on point and ball has slipped out of touch.
Well, if there's one of the Thomian defenders you know can take Vishenka Silva on, it's Senesh Kalyana Gunawardana. And he did exactly that. Copybook tackle coming in from the side there. Here's the ball moving quickly to Vishenka Silva. All he needs is that half gap, and Liana Gunawardana putting that shoulder in. Good technique. Coaches will be happy to see that one.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. And Vishenka Silva making that switch to the wing for the first time this season today, and that has worked so far for the Pete Wrights.
Well, I think they've missed a trick by not putting him there earlier on in the season, Nathan. That's exactly where he did the most damage. And at fullback, he hasn't been able to do much more. But again, an unforced error from St. Thomas's, giving the Pete Wrights the attacking scrum.
Yes, Shanaka. Pete Wrights have experimented with their backline a lot this season. So take a look, another unforced error from the Thomians. But yes, like we were saying, Vishenka Silva shifting back to the wing will be a great strength for the Pete Wrights. That's where he has excelled over the last 2 to 3 seasons. And he has already made an impact today, and he'll be hoping for a lot more. As the ball gets out to the try scorer. Once again doubled up on in the tackle, but brings the game line back, and now straightening things up are the Thomians. But brilliant defense coming in, stopping Shenuka Pereira dead in his tracks on that occasion. But here's Revon Pereira now to Ashaz Farooq. Ashaz Farooq breaking past a couple of tackles, bringing the game line towards that Thomian red zone. Spots the gap, does Sitila Nimsara. But again, good defense coming in from the Thomians and drawing the penalty as well. That's excellent work from Manika Surya. And finally, after looking out of sorts in the first 13 minutes, the Thomian defense appears to have pulled their socks up.
Yes, this is good work from Manika Surya. We haven't seen him do this enough over the course of this season. He's an impressive boy physically. He's well over 6 feet and has managed to get around the ground as well, and looks like he has good athleticism. Punt straight through from Udan Bulatsingalage, who has outstanding technique and may even end up a better kicker than his brother was if he goes on like this.
Yes, definitely Shanaka still has 2 to 3 more years up his sleeve at the schoolboy level, I believe. So plenty of time for him to improve. And like you said, try and one up his brother, who was recently picked in that under-27 squad, alongside Pasindu Bandara and Penit Silva of that unbeaten Pete right side of a couple of seasons ago. And this is good work in the line out now from the Thomians. Here's Liana Gunawardena, shows and goes, but loses the ball forward there, and another unforced error coming in from the Thomians, and that has really cost them, hasn't it, so far, Shanaka?
Well, it was about 10 or 11 knock-ons last week against Trinity, and I've counted 3 so far, and they haven't been in difficult circumstances. They've just been completely unforced. You can see Liana Gunawardena wanting to take the line on here. Shows, then goes, and this is where he needs the cleaners to get there, and this is where Sitil Pereira and Manika Surya needed to get there much quicker.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. This time goes to the blind side, does Shiraz. Yes, Senuddin Sara shows and goes. Lovely step, goes past 3 defenders, and Vishenka Silva is there for the support. Here's Rana Singh now deputizing at scrum half, and the Pete Wrights will go with their big forwards. Here's Ratnayaka with a big carry. Now Shiraz to Wahab. Wahab tries to show and go. Wahab breaks past that desperate tackle there from the Thomian number 4, that's Jnana Das. And ball squeezed out of that ruck, and now to Teekshana. Teekshana to Mandusha. Mandusha to Rajit Jian. Rajit Jian brings play into the Thomian red zone. But the ball has been turned over on that occasion, but stolen right back by the Pete Wrights. But the referee will call things back. So a scrappy sequence of play there, Shanaka. But I thought Rajit Jian on the wing could have done a lot better to accelerate there and really go towards that try line.
We're interested to see how that ball was lost forward. He's given the scrum to St. Peters, but this is where Mayank Adayas was maybe caught a little bit flat-footed. Jian with the step in, and it was a good tackle in the end by Akit Kure, in fact. No, Udan Bulatsingalage it was.
I think the ball was ripped on that occasion and then lost forward by the Thomians. So based on the footage we do have, it seems like the correct call from referee Jeevaka.
So this is an important scrum. If Peters score here again, it could really dent the confidence of the Thomians, which is where this Thomian third row needs to be fully alert.
Yes, a loopy pass out to Wahab. Wahab to Mantusha. Mantusha now to Aditya. Yes, Vishenka Silva now bumps off Akit Kure. That's Udan Bulatsingalage once again. Brings the game line into the Thomian 22. And now he has Dinsara deputizing at scrum half. And now they look to go with Shenuka Pereira. Right under the post now are the Pete Wrights. Revon Pereira now to Ashaz Farooq. Lovely hands from the forwards on that occasion. We've seen that a couple of times so far today from Revon Pereira. And now they look to go through Wahab. Long pass out from Dinsara to Vishenka Silva. Bumps off Avishka Pereira. Peters well and truly breathing down the next year at the big club grounds. And now Shenuka Pereira with another strong carry. Eventually brought down. And now Revon Pereira. Revon and Shenuka Pereira, 2 of the strongest ball carriers for the Pete Wrights, have numbers on the outside, choosing to work their line. Now Peters shows and goes, does Senuddin Sara. Lovely offload to Jion. And here's Madugaske with some fancy footwork coming in from the flanker for St. Peters. Eventually brought down in the tackle and losing the ball forward in the process. Or was it an offside penalty, Shanaka?
He's saying number 8 didn't release there. Referee Jeevaka, Makal Karunaratne came in to really compete for the ball, and it looked like the ball carrier may have managed to get his knee to the floor.
Yes, some fancy footwork there from Hashara Madugaske. another brother in this playing 15 for the Pete Wrights. And like you said, just managed to get his knee down in the nick of time, did Hashara, but the maul this time is sacked well by the Thomians, and here's Revon Pereira now. Just a few more meters to gain for the Pete Wrights, right on that 5-meter line. Here's Ratnayak assisted by his loose forwards. This is a brilliant work from the Pete Wright forward pack here, really supporting their men, and here's Herf, but met by Mikhail Karunaratne in an important hit there. But St. Peter's College surely just only a few more phases away here at the big club grounds. Looking for Amana Bank, try number 2, and they have touchdown, have St. Peter's College. And that is Janut Ratnayak, the prop forward, slotted into the second row today. And he has touchdown for the second score for his side. And the Pete Wrights leading 12 points to 0 here at the big club grounds with a conversion to come.
Outstanding work from the Pete Wright forwards. Even though that maul got disrupted early on, they managed to keep the ball with them, made sure they kept driving, latching on at exactly the right moments. It was superb execution of the pick and go inside your own 10 meters. And that's Janut barging over for the try from close range. St. Thomas's once again just not organizing, folding around the fringes to make sure they get behind that offside line and make sure they have their guards positioned in the appropriate positions.
Rajit Gion lines up a difficult conversion for the Pete Wrights.
The crowd behind the kicker seem to like it, and why not? It's 14 points to 0, and St. Peter's go out into a lead that the Thomian supporters didn't expect to concede early on, Nathan, and it looks very much like Archibald Pereira might be hanging in the balance and need to make the short trip up Gaul Road to Bambalapitia.
Yes, certainly, Shanaka, if things do stay this way. But like I said, it's important that the Pete Wrights manage this game well from now and don't really allow St. Thomas's any sort of breathing room. Because this Thomian side is another side, I feel, that really rides that momentum. When they are going strong, they go really strong. But when they are put down, they tend to stay down. So it's important they don't allow them a foothold in this game.
Absolutely right, Nathan. They are very much a confidence team. And you could see before kickoff last week, as opposed to the match against Isipatana, their body language was completely off. It'll be interesting to see where that has lain today as St. Peter's managed the exit that time competently.
Yes, a good touch finder on that occasion from Senuddin Sara. He has quite a heavy boot on him. And yet another brother who's on show today, the younger brother of Pete Wright place kicker Yumit Shihara, who did a fantastic job over the last couple of seasons.
Yes, he was one of the standout players of that Peter's backline, and his younger brother is doing exactly the same. Monica Surya in the middle of the lineup this time.
So now, yes, Liana Gunawardana bumps off Wahab there. But this time the support from the Thomians is good, but they'll need their halves to come in, and Mayanka Dias eventually deputizes at scrum half. Karunaratne brought down there by Revon Pereira, by Lakindurana Singh. The Pete Wrights really up with their defense, but Ashaz Farooq will need to roll away, and yes, he didn't manage to do so in the nick of time and has conceded the penalty.
Well, it's interesting that St. Peter's have chosen to move Jamal Wahab, who is a scrum half by trade, to that halfback position, and it's doing very well. He's really opening it up very fast the way he's moving that ball, Nathan, but I'm surprised that St. Thomas's haven't chosen to attack his channel. He's not the biggest lad, and you've got guys like Luene Gunawardana and Mikhail Karunaratne who can attack that 10 channel, and they haven't done it yet.
Yes, but Jamal Wahab really does seamlessly fit into that number 10 slot, Chanaka. I can tell you from, he's done that in a couple of games, but we'll come back to that later. Here's Bulat Singhal again. Lovely hands now to Mayanka Dias. Akit Kure, nervous moment there. Juggle the ball a little bit, but the Thomians now with their first front foot move. Here's Mikhail Karunaratne trying to burst through. Eventually brought down by Madugaski. Thomians now are lurking in that Pete Wright red zone. Sitil Pereira, another strong carry. This time the Thomian support is arriving fast. He said the quick ball is what's needed here for the Thomians, but a lovely tackle coming in from Revon Pereira there. Taking down Liana Gunawardana. But the quick ball is working so far for the Thomians, and now here's Jayavira. Just need to be patient here, do the Thomian outfit. The gaps will open up. Yes, Karunaratne, another strong carry. need to get numbers out wide. They'll do well to work the ball here. Pereira chooses to go by himself. But Vikramasuriya now to Bulat Singalage. Lovely hands. Mayanka Dias shows and goes. Udan Bulat Singalage goes down for the Amana Bank try. And St. Thomas's College have opened their scoring in this all-important clash, Shanaka.
Well, it was all a bit one-dimensional from St. Thomas's until that very last move, Nathan, and that's what opened up the defence for Mayanka Dias to send that ball out, draw the beat right defence, panic them into over-committing towards the touchline, and then bringing that ball inside. If we can see that replay back for a couple of phases beyond there, we'll show you exactly what I mean. But this is a really important score for the Thomians to get before they allow St. Peter's to go too far ahead.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. Favourable conversion now for Mayanka Dias. Huge hush around the big club grounds. The conversion is good from Mayanka Dias, and the big club grounds finds its rhythm. And the Thomians have found their rhythm, Shanaka.
Pin drop silence here at big clubs, not something that you see often in this part of the school for sure. 14 points to 7 is how it reads. But if we can see that replay of the last couple of phases, watch the coming in from Akit Kure. That's what stood up the Peterite defense, and that's what allowed Mayanka Dias to show the ball outside and then give it inside. And that's what St. Thomas's haven't been doing. They haven't made defenses guess. It's been very easy for defenses to know exactly what is coming from them, and that's something they need to work on pretty quickly.
Yes, but props to the Thomians. Managed to get that innovative side in game, and the first time that they really did play quick ball, they managed to pierce that Peterite defense, and another strong carry from Sinesh Kaliyana Gunawardana. Trevin Herft had rights to that ball there, but unfortunately concedes the penalty.
Referee having a word with Vishenka Silva, because that's the second time it's happened. It wants players to roll away because they are affecting the clean out and they are affecting the ball carrier's ability to place the ball back. If we can have a look at that replay, we'll show you how that was a carbon copy of the one that gave away the try.
Yes, and Udan Bulat Singalage finds a good touch. And the Peterites guilty of allowing St. Thomas's College that momentum, Shanaka, that we were speaking about a few moments ago. And they'll really want to try and achieve parity or potentially go into lemons with a lead. And they can do so if they continue to play the same way they have done over the past 5 minutes or so.
Jan Pereira to throw into a line out with a lot of movement. Does brilliantly at the back. The second pod is where they go to, and Liana Gunawardana this time hands off to Pereira, but what a thumping hit.
Big hit coming in by Revon Pereira once again. He's a strong lad, and here he is putting pressure on Mikael Karunaratne. Manages to get the ball back out to Vikramasuriya just in the nick of time. The Peterites are trying to be the first to all the breakdowns here, trying to win that first phase. But St. Thomas's College are doing well to keep possession and continue to gain territory here, slowly but surely. Now they look to go out wide. Here's Ahaliagoda, loses his foot in there, has allowed Wahab to get his hands on the ball, and Wahab has done mighty well there to win the penalty. Shanaka.
Well, that is something that if I was a Thomian pack leader, I would be very upset about, because the smallest man on the pitch has managed to win a turnover against one of your bigger men, and with several cleaners coming in there, and props to Wahab for being able to do that. Outstanding bravery from him, but St. Thomas's just should not be allowing that kind of poaching.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka, but like I was saying before that Thomian try, Jamal Wahab has been mighty impressive in that first receiver position. This time the touch finder is not good from Senuddin Sara, and doesn't sends the game line back, but he's retrieved the ball and now has open space to run into. Leaves Akit Kure for dead. Does Senuddin Sara. Lovely bustling run from the Peterite fullback. Here's Senuka Pereira now. Now they have numbers on the outside. Chooses to go by himself. Does Aditya. Brings the game line towards that 5 meter mark. Ball just spilling out there, but has gone backwards. So they'll continue to attack here with Revon Pereira now, the Pete Wrights. But straight away turning defense into attack. Here's Shenuka Pereira now with a bit of space to run into. Tomian defense doing mighty well there to get there just in the nick of time and make that tackle. But the Pete Wrights hovering around that whitewash once again, but conceding the penalty unfortunately for them.
This time it's St. Peter's turn to lose the ball on the ground. It is pretty soggy underfoot. Nathan probably didn't realize that as much. Didn't do my customary walk across the ground today because I was very late. But here's Senuth Dimsara just stepping off that left foot and straightening up nicely and leaving 3 defenders in his wake, forcing 2 tacklers, in fact 3 tacklers, to get in there, and that means that the defense is compromised on the far side, and St. Peter's almost exploited it beautifully. Here's Makal Karunaratne. Pramukha Aditya manages to meet him and smash him back.
It's a good hit coming in from the Pete Wright centre now, looking for that exit. Charge down well by Madugasge, but Udan Bulatsingalage finds a mighty impressive touch just in the nick of time to take the game line towards that halfway mark.
Well, that was a superb touch finder. He was behind his goal line and under enormous pressure from 2 Pete Wright defenders, and still manages to get almost 40 yards for his team. That's the kind of discipline that the Stomian side have and the ability that the Stomian side have. Just don't seem to be able to match their minds to their bodies.
Yes, Ranasinghe once again clean with the collection, and now here's Nimsara at the back of this Pete Wright roll-in maul that has done wonders for them so far. Revon Pereira now, and they look to break away, do this spot of Pete Wright forwards. But decent work there from the Thomians. Don't allow them to gain too many meters off the roll-in maul. Yes, Shenuka Pereira now bumping off Sithil. Tries to go past Aluvihare, but does well to catch the big man there. This is the Thomian flanker, but it's the Pete Wright still with possession. Now here's Jamal Wahab. Long pass from Aditya out to Gion. Gion manages to just flick the ball on to Dinsara, but a brilliant tackle from Mayank Dias to send him into touch.
Maybe that needed to go through the hands. Looked like there was a bit of space on the outside, but the Thomian drift defense was closing pretty fast, and Dias did well to get across and use the touchline as his friend. But just showing that the Pete Wrights can be really threatening. Here's the pass from Pramukha Aditya. Probably should have gone to the hands because he had a 4-on-3 there and kept the ball alive.
Yes, good work at line-out time from Nyanadas, and now gets the ball out to Chanutta Heliagoda. But the Pete Wright defense is right up there. But unfortunately got a hand on the ground, did Shenuka Pereira, and concedes the penalty.
So it looks like Nyanadas coming into the side has made a difference in place of the senior Vanigasuriya. The difficulty with Vanigasuriya in the side is that you deprive yourself of a lifter, which means you can't really fox the opposition side because they know that Vanigasuriya is always the target rather than the lifter. So it shows that there's been a little bit of thinking going on and switching the personnel to fix the problem.
Yes, definitely, Shanaka. The Thomian lineouts had left much to be desired against Trinity, but have looked a lot better today. Once again, Nyanadas clean collection out to Vikramasuriya. Lovely hands from Bulat Singalage. Shenesh Kalyan Gunawardena looks to go through the middle, bumps off a couple of tackles. What a carry this from the Thomian centre. Playing with a lot of confidence now are the Thomians. Here's Makal Karunaratne, another strong carry from the big number 8. Out to Sithil Pereira. Here's Bulat Singalage, has that man on the outside. Avishka Pereira chooses to cut inside though, and he's met by a wave of Pete Wright defense. And now they'll look to attack from the fringes, Shanaka, with just 3 to 4 minutes to go until that half-time break. They'll do well to get another 7 points here. Just as I say that, looks to break through the Zaman Imran. But St. Thomas's College now on the front foot. Here's Karunaratne once again. Needs 2 defenders to take him down. And that's a good contest at ruck time from Lakindu Ranasinghe. And he has drawn the penalty. Drawn the scrum rather for his side. So this Pete Wright defense coming up trumps once again.
Well, whether that was a good contest or whether it was diving straight over the top and from the side is something that we might have to have a look at. Lakindu there on his feet and then leaving his feet. Not sure that was something that would be not frowned upon by other referees.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. And this time the exit is good from Dinsara. No, it isn't. Finds the Thomian backs now, and they have empty space to run into. Here's Liana Gunawardana once again, trying to get past Aditya, but brought down. So Senu Dinsara might have cost his side possession here, as that's another strong carry from Jayavira. Have that extra number on the outside, do the Thomians. Here's Aluvihare, shows and goes. And Thomians back to right where they were just a few moments ago. But a big tackle coming in from Shenuka Pereira. And Herft has his hand just stuck inside the ruck there. Referee allows the play to continue. Yes, Karunaratne, lovely offload to Chanutta Heliagoda. Brings play inside the beat right 22. Still looking to go from the blind side through Mikael Karunaratne, but that's a good doubling up in defense from Janut Ratnayaka. And Lakindu Ranasinghe to send the big Thomian number 8 out into touch.
Well, that's better from St. Thomas's, but not the right option there from Venuka Vikramasuriya. Needed to come back open side. And in the tram lines, there was just too much traffic there for Mikael Karunaratne to get through. Need to contest this line out to the Thomians and put some pressure on this Thomian pit right line out, which has Lakindu Ratnayaka as their main jumper. That's what pressure can do, Nathan, and whether they'll be able to convert this into points is the eternal question.
Yes, costlier there from Shenuka Pereira. Needed to get that line out right, did the Pete Wrights, and they could have gone into lemons with things as they were. And small drizzle just coming around the big club grounds now. And a Thomian scrum, and a perfect chance for them to go into lemons with all the momentum going their way, Shanagar.
Will St. Peters be able to withstand the pressure of this scrum? New look Thomian front row with Rehan Jayavira being injected in after his shoulder injury. Aman Imran and Ayan Pereira alongside him. Mikael Karunaratne chooses not to break this time. It's pretty slow from 10 and 12, but 15 injects some pace. And now again, still slow ball. Chanutta Heliagoda. This is good work from, brave work from St. Peters, but not a lot of arms in that tackle. Here are the Thomians now trying to give the Pete Wright forward pack a dose of its own medicine.
Yes, here's Chanutta Heliagoda looking to go around the Pete Wright defense there, but good tackle coming in from Ashaz Farooq. There's a gap opening up there, but Pete Wright cover defense does brilliantly. But surely just a few phases away for St. Thomas's, and have they gone over? Referee thinks that they haven't, and he has played advantage, and he will bring things back. Mikael Karunaratne takes it quickly, twists past a couple of defenders, but is met by Shenuka Pereira. Thomians just need to get this ball out wide here. Just a matter of touching down for the home side. But here's Jayavira looking to attack from the fringes. Another advantage placed by referee Fonseca. And now they go to their backs, and here's Chanutta Heliagoda. And the Thomians have touchdown for their second score. Needed to do that a lot sooner, Shanaka, but eventually Venuka Vikramasuriya, realizing that the Pete Wright defense had overcommitted to the Thomian fringes, and just send the ball out to Chanutta Heliagoda, who has an Amana Bank try on his return to the start in 15.
Yes, they've missed him the last couple of weeks, haven't they? He hasn't been able to be even play a part off the bench. And he's a big lad, he's an experienced lad. And although he does try to get close to the action, sometimes they need him out there, really providing an option for Venuka Vikramasuriya and Udan Bulatsingalage to find a big runner off their shoulders. Mayanka does what should be a regulation kick for him. And the flags go up, so it's all tied up here at halftime in the Archibald Pereira Memorial Trophy between St. Peters and St. Thomas's. Hasn't been played for a while, and St. Peters really have come to try and put this back in their trophy cabinet after a long lapse.
Yes, last contested for in 2022, as we see Chanutta Heliagoda going straight through the middle. And the Pete Wright defense was well and truly scrambling there. But yes, Shanaka haven't played for the Archibald Pereira Trophy since 2022. And Pete Wrights well and truly have made a statement in this first half, as we have your halftime confirmation exactly where we started, with the parity between these two sides, 2 scores apiece and 2 conversions apiece.
It's all going to rest on discipline, isn't it? Who makes the fewest mistakes in the second half is going to dictate where the trophy is going to go. We'll find out who that's going to be as we come back from our break.
Hey, shall we have a ramen? Yeah? Yes, now you can have Korean ramen anytime, anywhere with newly introduced Maliban Snackers Korean Ramen Savory Biscuit. Grab a pack for just 550 rupees and get that spicy Korean ramen sensation while watching this match.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
At ESU, every class, every opportunity unlocks a new version of yourself. Welcome to the Infinite You. Welcome to ESU.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
විහිළු නෙමේ ටෝකියෝ සුපර් ඕන වැඩකට සුපර්.
සැරටම enjoy කරන්න party එකට go.
Night Go Pocket Perfume. Youth ekata go ekak.
The road is yours.
German engineered tires for Sri Lankan roads. Seat car radials. The road is yours.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex. Get, spray, go.
That was summer refreshment, the train eකට go.
Night Go Pocket Perfume. Youth ekata go ekak. Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තියේ කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා. චෞමරි අක්කා.
බිත්තියට ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
Swiss-Tech Skim Coat finish එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Love rugby.
Live rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun tamai.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තියේ කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා. චෞමරි අක්කා.
බිත්තියට ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
Swiss-Tech Skim Coat finish එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
There is a rhythm to island life, where a walk is a dance, where there is work-life flexibility, where fun is serious, and where songs rise out of the sea. The unique and amazing facets of island living inspire us.
Bring that inspiration home. Lanka Tiles. Fine living. Redefined.
Love rugby.
Live rugby.
Prima Kotimi Fantamai.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
German engineered tyres for Sri Lankan roads. Seat car radials. The road is yours.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Whose fault is this? Looks like someone didn't use Tokyo Superset for bricklaying and plastering. Tokyo Superset. Do it right the first time.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
එක පැත්තකින් වහගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. තමරි අක්කා.
ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Boss, I got you some homemade milk toffee. Shall I bring it now? You know, no matter what others say, you are really important to us. I have never seen anyone care about the company as much as you do.
While you're working hard to earn your yearly bonus, save money with Commercial Bank's Power Bonus. Open an account with just 5,000 rupees and earn bonus interest every 3 months straight.
At ESU, every class, every opportunity unlocks a new version of yourself. Welcome to the Infinite View. Welcome to ESU.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
German engineered tyres for Sri Lankan roads. Seat car radials. The road is yours.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
At ESU, every class, every opportunity unlocks a new version of yourself. Welcome to the Infinite View. Welcome to ESU.
දවසම ෆ්‍රෙෂ් වෙන්න. O3 Spirit and Freedom perfumed body spray.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා. ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproof දැම්මා නම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නෑ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එක.
බයද? ඒවටත් බෙහෙත් අපි ළඟ තියෙනවා. ඉඳගන්න.
උස්වත්ත පවුලින් හඳුන්වා දෙන රස ඇබ්බැහිය. චර්පි චිප්ස්. රිදෙන්න දැනෙන රස.
තව ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එකක් ගහමුද?
And allowed Udan Bulat Singalage to pull one back. And Mayanka Dias too has been flawless off the tee so far today. As I welcome Shana Kamarasinghe back with me for this final 35 minutes, Shan.
Yes, Chanutha Haligoro there going over for the final score of the half, drawing St. Thomas's level, which would be a huge morale booster for them, of course. They can't afford 2 losses on their home grounds in 2 consecutive weeks. Udan Bulat Singalage had all of half time to do up his bootlaces and chooses to do them up right now. But the referees, to be fair, aren't back yet. Both teams in a hurry to get on with things by the looks of it.
Yes, especially St. Thomas and Shanaka, I feel we said in the first half as well, they're a real confidence team. And after pulling things back from 2 scores down, they'll want to ride that wave of momentum. And if you go back to last week, this phase of play is where Royal hurt St. Peter's. That first 15 to 20 minutes after the half-time break is where they really put the game to bed. And perhaps the Thomians have been doing their homework, and that's something they're looking to do here at Mount Lavinia today.
Who scores first in the second half will be enormously important in this particular match. It's a lovely kick-off from Bulat Singalage, and Vanikasuri and Pereira get there quickly. But this man has been pretty good for St. Peter's so far in the carry.
Yes, and Senuddin Sara just juggling that ball a bit there. Allowed the Thomian defense to close him down and couldn't find that exit, and it's picked up by Akit Kure now. And now the Thomian backs will have some open space to run into. Lovely run from Udan Bulat Singalage. Not held in the tackle, so was allowed to get up there. And now the Thomian starting on the front foot. Here's Makail Karunaratne breaking past 3 tackles. Vikramasuriya to Sithil Pereira, but a big hit from the Peterite number 8 on that occasion. But this is exactly the start that St. Thomas's would have hoped for. Yes, Chanutta Haliagoda now has been another massive carrier for the Thomians. Both centres, in fact, have been massive carriers. And that has really helped them, and just not paying attention there, that Thomian player, but no damage done as clean-up work is done well by Bulat Singalage. But potentially had the chance to break through the Peterite line if he had been a bit more aware, Shanaga.
Yes, that was Rehan Jaivir, who was just getting back into position. You can understand that from a man who's just coming back from a long layoff due to injury, but needs to be a little bit more aware of what's going on around him. Good hands from Karunaratne to Akit Kure. Akit Kure has spotted an overlap, and now Haliagoda will come back in field. Liana Gunawardena goes in at halfback. Vikramasuriya, first receiver. Offside is the call from referee Jivaka, as Vikramasuriya will look to exploit this. Here's Jayavira, it's spilled forward, so they will come back for the penalty.
Yes, Peterite defense just committing that error there in their own red zone, and this could come back to bite them. It'll be interesting to see what Thomians choose to do from here, which will really give us a deep dive into what their thinking pattern is, and they have opted for scrum. So Thomians want to play on the front foot and want to really make their presence felt, Shanaka, and I think that's the right call made.
It's just the right area of the field as we watch where the Peterite defense drifted offside. You can see the referee telling them to get back and didn't do so quick enough. But this is a lovely field position for Makail Karunaratne. He's off the back, haven't seen too much of him so far. Gives the ball away to Mayank Dias. Should probably have passed just half a second earlier. But St. Thomas is threatening inside the 5-meter line. Sithil Pereira.
Big defensive effort coming in from Vishenka Silva on that occasion. Chipping in the back is the Peterite skipper. And now the Thomians will look to come at the Peterite fringes. But that appears to be good work done there at rough time from Revon Pereira. And just at the bottom of your screen, their ball was held up over the try line. It will be interesting to see what our match officials make of this. And yes, play is allowed to continue. And yes, St. Thomas's now once again looking to take the lead for the first time. Really going at the Peterite fringes now. But pretty good defense coming in from the Peterite forwards as well. Desperate here, Thomians would do well to try and go to their line now. Once again, ball looking to be held up by the Peterite players. Just scoops it back there. And they have gone over for the Amana Bank try. Have St. Thomas's College just jumping over the top. Makail Karunaratne, and they take the lead for the first time today, Shanaka. But quite an interesting sequence of play.
Yes, a lot to talk about there. If we take it back and watch a few phases as to how exactly St. Thomas has managed to get over defensive technique on the line, all those things that can be dissected, but this is not the time for any of that, as St. Thomas's have managed to get themselves over the try line courtesy of some good carrying. Ball was held up quite a few times by players on the floor, but and not over the try line. Short was the call from the referee on several occasions, so it's interesting that more penalties didn't come off that particular passage. You can see Senal Dilaka giving some instructions relayed from the bench.
Yes, and the conversion from Dias is good, and the Thomians go one score ahead here at Mount Lavinia. And we were speaking just before kickoff about this being the time period to hurt St. Peter's, and St. Thomas's College have done exactly that, Shanaga.
Certainly has. Mayank Dias is worth his weight in gold for the Estonian team for the conversions he manages to get over. But if he manages to put on a little bit more weight, he'll be worth even more, because they needed to have a little bit more impetus on the wing from him.
Yes, and now St. Peter's College have to come from behind, which is something they have struggled to do in this season so far. That's another strong carry from Liana Gunawardena, but once again Wahab manages to rip the ball, but has done so illegally. But again, Shanaka, just like in that first half, St. Thomas is losing the ball to the smallest man on the park.
Yes, Jamal Wahab showing that he can go where most of the bigger players can't, and he's willing to get his hands dirty when he gets there as well. Really very brave player, and from what I know of his lineage, his uncle Ishraq, who I had many skirmishes with during my time in school, and of course his father Javid. It's nothing short of no shortage of bravery there.
Line out time is good for the Thomians, and now here's Chanut Tahaliagoda. Gets that pass out just in the nick of time. Shows and goes to Akit Kure. Lovely hands now from the Thomian back line. Lovely offload to Mayank Adayas. Looks to step past that Pete Wright defense, but has taken the game line right into that Pete Wright red zone once again. St. Thomas is playing with a lot of confidence here. Here's T.H. Aluyare. Acres of space out wide. Chooses to cut inside. Would have done well to send that ball out wide there, I thought. And Vikramasuriya finally manages to do that when Liana Gunawardena shows and goes through the Pete Wright defense. Hovering around the try line once again are the Thomian lads. And they're right back where they scored that Amana Bank try just a few moments ago. And yet again, St. Thomas is looking to attack from those fringes.
It's interesting that these players are starting on their knees and not really getting off. That time they did. That was much better technique. But you can see how that technique allows you to concede ground as well. It's better from St. Thomas's.
Messy stuff here at the big club grounds. Lots of bodies in the view of the referee. And the Thomian line was offside, and St. Peter's College have done one better on this occasion to not concede.
I thought the Thomian should have gone wide there. I think Vikramasuriya needs to rein in his forwards when they get that white line fever and have a word with them. Make sure they really vacuum in all that defensive efforts from the Peter Wrights and send it out wide to their danger men.
Yes, indeed. I thought T.H. Aluvihare made the wrong choice to try and cut inside, but that was many phases ago, Shanaka. But if he had just gone to go wider there, none of this would have happened, and St. Thomas were in a prime position to touchdown for another Amana Bank try.
To be fair, from the camera angle we have, Nathan, I'm not sure there was anybody outside him. I think he would have passed if there was, but a lot of the backs had already moved to the left side of the field with that wonderful little interplay of passes. So I don't think Mayank Adayas was on his wing. He was on the opposite wing, which is why Aluvihara really had no one to pass to. Here's Mikhail Karunaratne. And the number 8 break is something that he really needs to perfect.
Thank you.
That's 2 of them that could have ended up in tries that have been botched and turned into absolute slugfests. Referee saying that the Thomians were holding that Pete Wright player in the ruck. This is where Vikramasuriya needs to give it out. Sitil Pereira. That ball wasn't going past him with 5 meters to go. And this is where Bulat Singalage will ask for it and get it. Liana Gunawardena, a lovely tackle on him by Senut. Vikramasuriya trying to dance his way through. He'll need some support now. Aligura gets there. Akit Kure deputizes at scrum half. Still pretty one-dimensional from the Thomians. It's worked for them a couple of times, but they'll need a few more strings to their bow. Haliagoda didn't hear the call from Kure coming in on his short shoulder. Vanika Surya fighting his way past the 5-meter line. Mikhail Karunaratne spinning in the tackle. Vikramasuriya into the wall of defense goes Sitil Pereira once again. This is great defensive work from the Peterites. Here's a little bit of space opening up for Akit Kure, who puts the chip kick in. And Chamod Pereira just cannot get there. You have to ask yourself, was that the right option?
Yes, certainly would have been the right option if they were playing under advantage. Shanaka, doesn't hurt to try a few things here and there. And yes, I believe they were playing under advantage, so no harm in taking a small risk here and there, Shanaka, and that's what the Thomians did.
Well, not sure it was under advantage actually. That ball went to touch in goal, so thought that perhaps the Peterites would have had a 22 dropout there.
Yes, this time Shenuka Pereira breaks from the back of the scrum. He's a strong lad, is this Peterite number 8. Lovely backhanded offload now to Netchan Manthusha. Netchan Manthusha bumps off a couple of tackles. Trying to run it from their own 22 are the Peterites. And Revon Pereira carries the ball out of the red zone, as does Ashaz Farooq. Supporterize quickly. And I think they've set up a good angle now for the exit kick. And yes, they go to the boot of Dinsara. Aluvihare just doesn't get there in time. But the ball is into open space. And now Akit Kure collects. And once again, have acres of space to run into, do these Tomian backs. Here's a Mayanka Dias. Mayanka Dias going around the outside, but brought down by Dinsara. Good ankle tap coming in on that occasion from the Peterites. But not finding touch of the exits, costing them once again, as Mikhail Karunaratne carries the ball, and the Thomians now are right under the post. Here's Vikramasuriya. This time he gets it right. He goes out wide to Akit Kure, and here's Mayanka Dias touching down for the bonus point. Amana Bank try.
I think he's called a forward pass there, Nathan. And not sure it was, but it looked like it might have been from the angle that the referee was standing at. Akit Kure carried that ball just about 2 or 3 seconds longer than he needed to. Needs to straighten and come back. It looks like they might be looking at the forward. Didn't look like a forward from where we were, but our camera angle is very deceptive.
Yes, and referee doing the right thing. The resources available to him, and sending that to the VAR. Take a look there. Yes, Akit Kure would have done well to release the ball just there. But can't tell too much from that angle, Shanaka. But Mayanka Dias does collect the ball from in front of the 5-meter line, which is where Akit Kure made that pass from. But we'll need another camera angle to really say for sure.
That's not the measure that you use, Nathan, to see whether the ball was collected in front of where the player passed. For me, it clearly came back from Akit Kure's hand. There was no way it could have gone forward from his hand, because he uses his inside hand, the right hand, to flick that one back. Yes, he didn't make the right option, but I don't think he passed the forward there. He has to stop immediately, and he passes it from on the 5-meter line. It's collected pretty much on the 5-meter line, but this is going to be misinterpreted once again by these referees for sure.
Captain, you have here and there. What do you want?
Yes, and try has been chalked off. And like you said, Shanak, on second viewing, that really did look like a try, but the Thomians have taken this one quickly. Here's Ian Pereira now. Strong carry from Nyanadas. Nyanadas trying to go towards that try line. Strong carry from the newcomer to this Thomian outfit. Yes, Vanika Surya now right under the post. St. Thomas's. And have their touchdown with Sitil Pereira. No, the ball has been held up. But eventually the referee once again sends things upstairs. Another interesting replay coming our way, Shanaga.
Not sure anything's going to be gleaned from that, Nathan, because this is the camera angle we have. Not sure we have a camera under the post, and here we go. A little bit of stub shield stuff under the posts, but nothing to be too upset about.
Yes, I'm pretty sure there were just a few harsh words exchanged there by both sets of players. Both two teams that are hurt in Shanaka, and both teams are quite desperate to get back to winning ways in the Dialogue Schools Rugby League. But we do have an interesting sequence of play coming our way on the big screen. As the Thomian crowd anxiously watches. Before going to that referral, just having a word with Vishenka Silva there, referee Jeevaka.
Oh, we do have another camera angle. This should tell us something. Barge straight through from Aman Imran. Doesn't really show the ball being grounded. In fact, it's Sitil Pereira there. Number 1 jersey. Here's Jamal Wahab getting under the ball. And a few other Peterites coming in under there as well. If the referee hasn't seen it to his naked eye, this is unlikely to give him too much clarity.
Yes, the players just getting in the way of the lens on that on this angle, Shanaka, but
not a right.
To the naked eye, it looked like Jamal Wahab did well there to hold things up, and yes, he has done so. So Jamal Wahab getting in the way of one of the bigger Thomian lads in Sitil Pereira, and has managed to hold the ball up here. A brave performance from the young fly half today, has to be said.
Well, you have to say Akit Kure needed to release that ball earlier so that St. Thomas's will be sitting on a 2-try lead rather than having to run this one back.
No.
Shanuka Pereira didn't hear the no from referee Jeevaka and chose to pick that ball up. The ruck was formed and that was pretty clear.
Yes, but once again, what's interesting there is Shanaka Peterites just in this second half haven't able to get those exit kicks into touch and have allowed Akit Kure and co to run into plenty of open space and really set up the Thomian side to attack from those fringes, and that has cost them 1 score so far.
Interesting to see what the Thomians opt for this time, whether they go for the line out, which they haven't had a line out in a while. But what Makal Karunaratne will do well to realize is how you break. And Shanuk Pereira, I think, showed everyone how you do a number 8 break last time he came off from the 5-meter line. It's just about committing the right players, making sure you get your scrum half and your winger into position to score the try, not going as far as you can.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. That number 8 battle is something that I personally came in here to see here today. 2 of the better number 8s going around in the school circuit are Makal Karunaratne and Shanuka Pereira. But this doesn't look too good for the Thomians.
I think that's Chamod Pereira on the floor there. He cut back infield and got smashed back in a tackle. Perfectly legal, absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I think the way he fell didn't do his elbow or shoulder any favors. But there are a few outstanding number 8s in this Dialogue Schools Rugby League so far, Nathan, and these are 2 of them certainly. But of course we've got Shan Satish Kumar from Trinity, who has been playing a really roving role, one of the smaller but more mobile number 8s. This is where we saw that looks like it might have been a shoulder injury, and he got a knee to the head for his trouble as well from Udan Bulat Singalage. So poor old Chamod Pereira has been in the wars.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. And worrying signs for the Thomians, but yes, it's great to see that we have some really good number 8s on the school circuit this season, and that spells good news for the future of Sri Lankan rugby as a whole if these lads do continue to excel in the way that they have.
Young fan being completely overwhelmed by his presence on the papare.com coverage. And a warm welcome to all of you joining us from wherever you may be in the world. Australia, North America, Europe, Middle East, of course. Plenty of fans from that part of the world as the wind picks up here at the big club grounds at the back of the Pete Wrights.
Yes, running some changes now are the Pete Wrights. Emit Javira makes his way onto the park. And what that means is Jamal Wahab will now slot into scrum half. And Emit will slot into that first receiver position. And Shiraz Pereira, who has been playing at scrum half for this 49 minutes, will have the curtain drawn on his game today.
Nice work from Janadas at the back of that line out as Chanutha Haliagoda takes route one.
Yes, and now here's Mikael Karunaratne met in a big tackle there by Shenuka Pereira, but now here's Tiesha Aluvihare made to go sideways by the new man Emit Jayavira. And the Pete Wrights have done all the defending in the second half. Haven't really come out of their own half. And now here's Udan Bulat Singalage. Breaks past the tackle. Udan Bulat Singalage. What a run from the Thomian fly half. And he touches down for a much deserved Amana Bank try. And that will be the bonus point Amana Bank try for St. Thomas's College, Shanagar.
Well, it was bound to come, wasn't it, Nathan? As you were saying, St. Peter's have done nothing but tackle for the last so many minutes of this second half. And they've been camped inside their 22. They just haven't been able to get out of it. And something had to give at some stage. And it's been 25 minutes almost of 15 minutes, in fact, of just being smashed in that second half. And Udan Bulat Singalage just saw enough of a gap. And he takes them well. And when he takes them, he really accelerates into them. And sometimes he may be accelerating a little bit too much before he passes the ball, but this is an area of his game he'll get better at. But that time he spotted exactly what needed to be done.
Yes, and Mayankada is once again flawless off the tee. We'll take a look at the replay there. Went right through the gap, wrong-footed Emit Jayavira, and just not held in the tackle by that big Pete right forward. And Udan Bulat Singalage has had a really good game so far. And he has a deserved Amana Bank try to his name. And what that means for the game is after being 2 scores down, Shanaka, the Thomians now find themselves 2 scores ahead. And the Pete Wrights have it all to play for.
Ashara Madugaspe will not want to see that replay. But it was a ball in 2 hands which created the uncertainty in the Pete Wright defense. Lovely ball over the top. But Jeon again loses his footing on this slippery turf.
And the first time that the Pete Wrights have really visited the Thomian half in this second 35 minutes. And Jamal Wahab, like I said, will be playing scrum half now for the remainder of this game. Slow ball out though from the ruck, but now look to speed things up. And yes, Vishenka Silva. Vishenka Silva has just one man to beat, but does well to get that desperate tackle in. Does Udan Bulat Singalage. And now to Janut Ratnayak, and the Thomian defender was offside there. So penalty come in the way of the Pete Wrights. And the Pete Wrights now with a chance to pull one back almost straight away.
Another botch takes it, but taken quickly from Senuddin Sara here. St. Thomas has had retreated the 10. And Senesh Kaluyanaguna trying to make amends for that clearance kick with a big tackle.
Yes, Abhay Gunawardana. Another nippy lad in that lock forward combination for the Pete Wrights. Janut Ratnayak, Thomians doing well, just not allowing him to get a knee to the ground. Does so eventually. But good cover defense coming in from the Thomians. And now Shenuka Pereira switches things up to the back line. Jayavira, lovely hands out to Pramukha Aditya. Aditya has acres of space, but does really well in the tackle. Do the Thomians, but support arrives quickly in the form of Emit Jayavira. And now here's Netchan Mandusha breaking off the back of that ruck, but has lost the ball. Has he lost it forward? And I think he has. And that's a chance that has gone big in for the Pete Wrights, Shanaka.
Yes, that certainly was a gilt-edged chance for the Pete Wrights, especially off that exit that was flawed by St. Thomas's. They needed to get back into the game quickly. And this is a very important moment of the game to see what's going to happen here.
Let's take a look at the replay there. Just losing the ball forward. Netchan Mantusha had plenty of support And were very close to a score were the Pete Wrights. And this game has been a story of botched exits, hasn't it, Shanaga? St. Peter's getting their first real attacking momentum of this second half through Liana Gunawardhana's botched exit, and the Thomians earlier were really dominating things because the Pete Wrights really just couldn't carry it out of their own 22.
Some of the Thomians walking wounded here. You can see Janadas limping under the post there. Sithil Pereira getting some attention as well, and the Thomians will do well to go to their bench here and bring in some of the more experienced players, guys like Aryavansa and Romit Vijay, who can maybe make a difference with some fresh legs.
He's getting the cramp. Then I want to.
This is an area where I think the Thomians have missed a strategic trick to know when and how to use their bench.
Come on.
Sithil Pereira in the second row today. Aryavansa has come on, in fact.
Set.
Yes, but like you said, Chana, just 15 minutes left and 2 scores ahead. Thomians really should go to their bench now and save some legs for the games to come. But Ali got a met in the tackle there by Jayavira. And now the Thomians look for that exit, and Udan Bulat Singalage does exactly that. Lovely exit from the young fly half, and he shows his partner Senesh Kaliyana Gunawardhana exactly how it's done.
Well, when he's playing sensible rugby, Nathan, he's an outstanding player. Sometimes a red mist can come,
Number 4.
and that's when things go awry. But at number 10, he really has to take on that responsibility of managing the game, and that's exactly what St. Thomas's need now. They've got the 2-score cushion. They need to play in the right areas of the pitch and not go a little into a frenzy like they did last week.
Yes, indeed, Chanaka. And I'm sure this Pete Wright outfit knows, just as I say that, the throw is crooked from Shenuka Pereira. Wind at the big club ground, playing its part. And not the first time today that Shenuka has thrown one crooked.
Well, that was quite a bit crooked. And that's why the referee was forced to call it, even though St. Thomas's didn't contest. But once again, a lovely blindside opening up for Karunaratne if he has the fundamentals to use it well.
You okay?
You have to say, in that battle of the number 8s, Shanuk Pereira seems to be ahead on points, unless Makal can deliver a knockout blow.
Yes, definitely, Shanuk.
Bye.
Game definitely not over here. Pete Wrights know that just 2 moments of magic or 2 lapses in concentration from the Thomians can get themselves back in this game. But Thomians really playing with a lot of confidence and a big spring in their step now as that replacement player with a good carry.
Looks like Zaidan Akbar is back on the park. Funnily enough, the cousin of Jamal Wahab, playing on opposite sides. Oh, that's, I think all we need to wonder is what color that card is going to be.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And a tempers flaring here between the players at the big club grounds. Not what you want to see. Referees will do well to just separate both sets of players and make the sensible call in this situation, but referee Jigaka definitely has to go into his pocket for that one, Chanaka.
Certainly does. Just remains to be seen what color. Not too upset about the players getting stuck in there. You see that happen to one of your teammates, you obviously get a rush of blood to the head. But luckily, not too much wrong there. Zakit Kure put this little chip kick in. And that was a forearm to the face.
Yes, Levon Pereira. To be fair to him, he was trying to charge down that kick, but will be interesting to see once again how the referees choose to interpret this.
I want to replay the other 2 paces.
We've seen those charge downs.
Then the foul play here and another retaliate number 7.
Dan
What the
Cole
reason?
in that cup final. The URC Cup final.
Oh.
It's like he had plenty of time to pull out of that one. And it looks like it was a forearm to the face, which is kind of a Muay Thai tactic.
Yes, looks rather
Intentionally,
intentional there from
the arms
Revon
getting
Pereira.
higher neck.
And this could be curtain
That,
block forward.
after that, I would retaliate number 7. Go ahead. Yeah, මට ඒ රීප්ලේ එකෙන් පස්සේ මට තව ටිකක් ඉස්සරහට දෙන්න. ඒ ඉන්සිඩන්ට් එකෙන් පස්සේ.
And this is good from referee Jivaka. He's looking at T.S. Shalawihara coming in and retaliating there. And that's, by the letter of the law, that's something that you need to look at. But I don't think any of the Thomian supporters will begrudge their flanker for flying into that. T.S. Shalawihara sees his fullback down. And just asked Revon Pereira what he thought he meant by doing that.
No. එතන ඉස්සරහට නේ. එතන ඉස්සරහට නේ මේ නිකන් අත මේකක් විතරයි. අපි අතන ඩිස්ටන්ස්
And not sure T.S. Shalawihara deserves a card for that. He just advanced aggressively, didn't throw any punches, raise his hand.
Yes, and like you said, Shanaka just standing up for his teammate there, the young flanker. Akit Kure still down.
Captain.
Really struggling is the fullback. And here we'll have our verdict.
We got it under the replays and අපි දැක්කා එයාගේ falling down එකට යනවා but ඊට පස්සේ එයාගේ arm එක කෙලින්ම direct neck එකට තමයි යන්නේ. Then direct neck එකට යන හින්දා මට yellow card එකකට offense කරන්න බෑ. This is red card for you.
I think that's been well refed and well explained, and Revon Pereira has his hands on his head but has only himself to blame there. His elbow was up, which was the telling piece of evidence for referee Jivaka.
Yes, and the right call not to penalise T.S. Shalawihara as well, Shanaka. So referee Jivaka has been rather lenient so far today, but has done this, has ref this sequence of play really well.
Thomian coaching unit, their body language looks a little bit more relaxed at the moment. But more than the red card, it's who they've lost, isn't it, for St. Peter's, Nathan? It's Revon Pereira, who was that real live wire and that enforcer in that pack. But can that have the opposite effect on the Pete Wright pack? Can it lift them?
Yes, certainly can, Shanaka. This Pete Wright set of forwards quite close. And both on and off the pitch, I must say. And they are really bonded well. This is a new set of forwards for the Pete Wrights for this season. And this time the line out is good from the Thomians. And Bulat Singalage gets that pass out to Aliagoda, but just loses it forward. Does Zaidan Akbar. And the Thomians have conceded possession, Shanaka, but coming back to that, definitely can really have the opposite effect on the Pete Wrights if they play out of their skin here, and I'm sure this set of forwards will be desperate to do that.
Udan Bulat Singalage inadvertently giving away that penalty, but no danger there as St. Peter's missed touch, and Udan kicks it straight down the middle of the field to a man who will be very dangerous in broken field. Can Vishenka Silva spark something for his team?
As Vishenka Silva, strong carry there, takes the game line back to halfway, but the Pete Wrights once again guilty of not finding the exit. And here's Senuddin Sar was free on that blind side just for a moment there. And has drawn the penalty for his side, but Shanaka, this second half has been all about those missed exits from the Pete Wrights, and that has cost them dearly. And that's why they find themselves in this position.
They certainly do, and it will be a difficult one for the Thomians if they keep giving away unnecessary penalties as well. And you can see that the emotion and the intensity in this Pete Wright team has risen as a result of that red card.
Yes, definitely, Shanaka. High stakes clash here. Playing for a sense of pride, playing for silverware. And both these teams will be desperate to keep Archibald Pereira, as the maul is brought down well by the Thomians. Doesn't allow the Pete Wrights to gain any meters whatsoever. And they'll have to go to their line straight away, which is something that red card has really brought, because they lost one of their best carriers in Revon Pereira. But Jayavira, lovely hands now to Aditya. Aditya shows and goes. Aditya brings play just a meter short of the try line. Need quick ball here. Do the Pete Wrights. Support takes a bit too long to arrive for them. But they'll look to go from the fringes now, and have they gone over? No, just a couple of inches short now are the Pete Wrights, and Aditya was really hurt in that tackle there. He's seen limping off. But the ball is still live, and the Pete Wrights will need to touch down, and has Shenuka Pereira gone over? But the ball has been held up. That's a massive defensive effort coming in from Makail Karunaratne. And the Tomian number 8 getting one better on his opposite number when it really mattered most, Shanaga.
Well, we'll have to see, Nathan. I'm not sure whether this was touchdown. I think it might have been. You can look at the camera one angle. Shenuka Pereira looked like he might have gotten over the line just here.
Unhappy for the held up? For the try?
Can't quite tell from there. But I think the first angle from camera one might tell us Shanutha Haliagoda and Ayan Pereira trying to get their arms under there.
Angle, please.
Boy, this will set up a grandstand finish if this is given.
That's certainly a 50-50 call, Shanaka. We'll have to look at all the angles we can get to really decide that one.
Well, on the field, he said no try. He feels it's held up, so he'll have to see conclusive evidence to award it. But I think this is not the angle. I think they need the angle from the first camera. Yes, I had a feeling that it was a score. Nathan, if we can see the angle from camera one more time, we'll show you exactly where the ball went over. And again, it seems to be a try for Trevin Herft, the two props getting on the score sheet.
No, I believe that was Shenuka Pereira there, Shanaka. A deserved Amana Bank try for him. He's put in a massive shift today as well. And a change in the place kicking boots as Pasan Pamudita will need to make this one count.
Well, is that a match-winning moment? Zaidan Akbar does not want to go back home and risk losing the bragging rights.
Yes, Zaidan Akbar there, Shanaka certainly has his mindset on that family dinner later tonight.
Zaidan's father, Sami, played in the very good Tomian team of 1996, which went down fighting to Bandula Mallikarachi's Isipatanians in the knockout trophy final. The second generation of players now available on the park. Again, good pressure from St. Thomas's.
And once again, Shanaka Senuddin Sara just hasn't managed to find whitewash and has given Udan Bulak Singh and co plenty of space to run into. Wrong foots Jamal Wahab there. There's Mayanka Dias. And the Tomians now with the possession and a chance to run at the Pete Wright fringes. Here's the number
Ramit Vijay Singh.
Release.
Ramit Vijay Singh takes play up to the 40-meter mark. Did well not to pass that ball. And here's T.S. Shaluvihara stepping back into the field of play. He's a little awkward the way he runs, but manages to find a lot of space. Here's the bust up the middle from Aman Imran. Has been doing a lot of the dirty work today, the unrewarded work. Udan Bulat Singhal again, little bit of a lack of communication with Akit Kure, who was coming in on the inside shoulder.
Yes, and the ball has been lost forward there. Miscommunication costing the Tomians, Shanaga. But yes, props must go to Aman Imran. He really, like you said, I 100% agree with you. He has done a lot of the dirty work, as has Sitil Pereira for the Tomians.
So no number 8, which means the ball squirts out and everybody takes a moment or two to realize that. I'm not sure that was the right option for St. Peter's to take as Makal Karunaratne now gets a chance to stretch his legs. And here's Akit Kure, 1-on-1, 2-on-1, and needed to pass that ball. Now he does to Senesh Kaliyana Gunawardana, who leg drives his way into the 22. Vikramasuriya. Sithil Pereira once again needs to look outside and needs to look outside as the first option. Quick ball for Vikramasuriya, and here's Udan Bulatsingal again. Needs to play in the right areas of the pitch, and that's a much better decision from the Thomian fly half. That's where they want to play the game.
Yes, definitely, Shanaka. Much better showing from the Thomian backs. I feel like that they've really grown into this game as time has progressed. And Udan Bulatsingalage really has been running things from that first 5-8 position. And with just 6 minutes or so, we have to slowly enter conversations for that Swiss Tech Perfect Player of the Match. And plenty of names that we can throw in that today.
Yes, there's been some good performances from both sides because it's been such a close game. Bulatsingalage spotting the acres of space behind Vishenka Silva. He had no option but to come up and watch that line of defense. But in the pack, I think Sithil Pereira has carried manfully. Ayan Pereira has found his jumpers. But I think the younger Vanigasuriya has been very good today in the forwards. And of course, the two centres being reunited for the first time in a while. Lina Gunawardana and Haliagoda. But for me, it's between Shalin Vanigasuriya and Udan Bulatsingalage on the Thomian team.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, Shanaka, but we'll give it a bit more time as the Peterites have possession here of that line out. And once again, the kick from Emit Jayavira is into open space, but luckily for him, just bounces out of bounds, but not the most convincing clearances yet again from the Peterites.
It doesn't matter whether it was convincing or not, Nathan, because it's got them up to the halfway mark, and that could give them, with just about 6 and a bit minutes left, plus injury time, could set up a real tight finish.
Yes, and Ayan Pereira, we appear to have put the commentator's curse on him, Shanaka. After praising his line-out work, he's just sent one crooked. But like you said, just 6 and a bit minutes, and I'm sure that bit... there's a lot to come because plenty of tempers flaring, plenty of injuries as well. So this game could go on for much longer.
Well, a lot of teams have said, or a lot of commentators, pundits, punters have said that St. Thomas's playing at home will help them, of course, and it does. It does help them in terms of familiarity, but they're not playing the conditions well, Nathan. And that number 6 throw with the wind coming in as strongly as it is now, these are the things that St. Thomas's need to manage a little bit better, especially in familiar conditions. Akit Kure stepping, but steps in one place. Makal Karunaratne. Here's Bulatsingalage again with the sensible option of driving this down the field. He'll need some chasers. Everybody was in front of him. Emit Jayavira now, that's not what his team needs. They need the ball to be kept in hand.
Yes, not the most intelligent of kicks there coming in from Emit Jayavira. Like you say, possession is what's important for the Peterites. That's what will create chances for them. And they're guilty of handing things straight back to the home team today.
Again, St. Thomas is moving the ball, but nothing actually happening behind the ball carrier to test the defense. Nobody changing an angle, nobody straightening, nobody going the opposite way to keep the defenders guessing. Nobody holding up the defenders. So it's just drifting to the touchline and back, which makes life pretty easy.
No. Hands off.
Vikramasuriya to Ramit Vijayasinghe. Aman Imran scythed down in a tackle by Hashara Madhugaspe, who has been excellent today for St. Peter's. Bulatsingalage to Vanigasuriya. Zaidan Akbar comes in and protects the ball for Vikramasuriya. Have to think that Makal Karunaratne has lost a bit of his venom, and that's again another opportunity missed for St. Thomas's. the gap opened up inside Chanu Tahaliagoda, and Senesh Kaliyanagunawadana really needed to attack that. If we can go back just a few seconds to find that replay.
It's like you were saying, Shanaka, a bit one-dimensional.
This is it, Nathan. You've got to come in on the inside shoulder there. You've got to see that gap open, and Senesh Kaliyanagunawadana has to make that decision to step off his left foot. And even if he doesn't get the ball, stand the defense up.
Yes, an important line out now for Shenuka Pereira. Can't afford to watch this one. Scrappy work at line out time, but the Pete Wrights with the ball.
St. Peter's through Lakhanduratnayaka. Amit Javira in that number 10 jersey at the start of the season, but now used off the bench. Such a prolific boot on him, but fortunately not fit enough to start for St. Peter's.
Yes, and now the Pete Wrights looking to run out of their own half. Yes, Vishenka Silva bumps off another tackle. He's carried really strongly after shifting out onto the wing, and you have to say the Pete Wrights have missed a trick by not shifting him out wide earlier in the season. But this is what the Pete Wrights will want to do, just keep the ball and hope that that gap opens up eventually. Just 2 minutes left on our clock.
Inuka Vikramasuriya has also put in an enormous shift in defense today. Being called upon to make tackles that scrum halves usually don't need to make. Once again, you've got to keep the ball in hand at this point for St. Peter's, and Udan Bulatsingalage knocks this one backwards, and Akit Kure has really managed to make a meal of that.
And yes, Vishenka Silva, he's taken things quickly. Has he touched down, just trying to wriggle through. I don't think the Thomians were 10 meters back there. So another chance will come their way eventually, but they'll want to make the most of this one. Will the Pete Wrights? Now going through the fringes, and they have gone over for their fourth Amana Bank try, and a second Amana Bank try for the number 8, Shenuka Pereira, as he limps away from the try line. He's done so just after giving his team a small but a very viable lease of life into this game, Chanaka.
Well, his hamstring has given up on him because he's been putting in a truckload of work today. Got to take your hat off to this lad. We haven't decided on our Swiss Tech player of the match, but it's usually not in a losing cause. But the kind of work that Shenuka Pereira has put in today, I wonder if we need to consider the option of giving him that Swiss Tech player of the game.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. Crucial conversion now coming from Amit Javira. And the conversion is good, and the Pete Wrights now just within 2 points of the Thomians.
Well, that's the game. They didn't have another kickoff to try and draw this game or win it. And unfortunately for St. Peter's, the clock has run out, and it's a 2-point game in the end. St. Thomas's, by the skin of their teeth, hold on to the Archibald Pereira Trophy. And a 14-man brave rearguard effort from St. Peter's falls just short of what would have been an absolutely memorable victory for them.
Yes, and if you come back to that charge down conversion from Zaidan Akbar, that's what proved to be the difference, Shanaka. Just 2 points separating these two sides, and the Archibald Pereira Trophy never fails to disappoint. Now that's the last 5 encounters, that 5 times that these two schools have played have all ended in less than a score between them.
Well, I said at the point that he charged it down, just like Cheslin Colby did with Thomas Ramos in the World Cup. You never know how these points are going to add up in the final equation, and Zaidan Akbar will certainly get the extra piece of chicken at the family lunch tomorrow.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka, as we have our full-time confirmation, St. Thomas's College 28 to St. Peter's College 26. Just the 2 points, and there's that one misconversion in between them.
Well, we had a real debate in the commentary box, didn't we, Nathan, for player of the match. And I think Udan Bulat Singalege, the fact that they managed to manage the game the way they did towards the end of that match, and the try that he scored, and also the strings that he pulled, we will stay with our original decision of Udan Bulat Singalege, who gets our man of the match this time as we look at the highlights of that second half.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka, but kudos must go to Shenuka Pereira. Was a massive shift from him, was a massive shift from most of the Pete right forwards. Was a really entertaining affair here at Mount Lavinia. So we take a look at the second half highlights. There's Udan Bulat Singalege touching down for his Amana Bank try. Mayanka Dias managed to remain flawless off the tee as well, which eventually proved to be the point of difference in this clash.
Yes, certainly was, did his job. And that's Akbar charging down that kick. You can see Amit Javira not happy with his junior player, and absolutely nothing in it, just a one conversion. 4 tries apiece, 4 conversions from the boot of Dias, who keeps his team in the hunt always, and just that charge down conversion proving the difference between losing the Archibald Pereira trophy and hanging on to it.
Yes, indeed, 4 tries apiece, 3 conversions, and like you said, just that misconversion proving to be the difference. And our Swiss Tech perfect player of the match for really controlling things from first receiver and really cutting through the Pete Wright defense on a couple of occasions, and for his clearance kicks as well. It's Udan Bulat Singalege. Yes, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, we bring an end to our coverage of this nail-biting affair between St. Peter's College and St. Thomas's, but
we'll be back with the presentation after the break.
Reserve your BYD vehicle today with John Keel CG Auto by visiting the BYD showrooms or call us on 0112